99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. If you having girl problems, I forgot me, son. I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
Hey everybody, 99 goals in the Liga ain't one, or not a problem at least. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Another Benfica win. Another nice. One more. What am I trying to say? One more game to glory, I guess.
Oh my God, that we've been kind of saying we got a grip on the Tasa, right? We got a firm grip, and it just like, man, it just gets tighter and tighter and tighter. We're not letting go anytime soon at this rate. I love it.
Yeah, man. Today started off good, and man, it got interesting. I'll tell you right now, it got interesting. Benfica always know how to keep it interesting. I guess, especially late in the season like this. I guess it wouldn't be the end of the season if it wasn't for we weren't going to be stressing like this. Anyways,
the one thing I think back to, and I kind of go back to 2 years ago, right, for the when we won the Tetra, we were kind of in a very similar situation. We got to really wrap up our final games, and basically right at the end of the season, we had almost the exact same situation. Playing to Rio Ave away, we have to win. And I remember going to the Casa Benfica in Toronto to go watch that match, and it was like, I swear, it was close to the 90th minute or something when we finally closed it out. But it was an intense, tight game. And we got nothing different this time around. Another tight game, lots of drama. And, yeah, we got our buffer, but, man, you don't want to lose that buffer, right? So leave nothing to chance.
There were stretches of that match, and we'll get into it. There's a couple things I want to touch on before we get into the game, but there were stretches of that match, man, where it was looking rough. It was looking scary. Even Rio Ave had a lot of counterattacks. They had a little bit more quality. I mean, you can say that about the rest of the Liga too, but a little more quality, man. It could have been close. But before we get into the game, I wanted to just touch on João Felix signing a new contract with Benfica. Things that happened before the match did. João Felix is now on par, one of the highest paid players on Benfica. He extended his contract, so I just wanted to touch on that. Rafa Silva also, if I'm not mistaken,
I heard some story about Rafa. I haven't seen the press release yet, but I've been hearing these stories.
Yeah, I heard it was till 2024. We signed him up. I hope that's true. And that's good news. That's good news to me. I wanted to see how you felt about it, about the signings, making João Felix the highest paid. Does that mean he stays around, or does that mean that we're just raising the buyout clause, so we get a little bit more?
I think anytime I've seen Benfica do this, now someone could always trigger the buyout, so that's out of our control. But the buyout's now ridiculous. The size of the buyout's monstrous, so I don't think someone's going to hit the full max buyout. But historically, when Benfica give a pay raise right at the end of the season or right in the kind of the summertime window by the transfer window, it's with the intention, man, you're going to stick around another season, we're going to pay you for it. And I got a feeling the kid, he probably looks at his friend like Renat Sanch, because he probably saw him in the youth academy a few years ago, right? And these players who talk to each other, and he's probably saying, man, one more season's good for my development, it's good for my career, and I'm going to get paid. And he knows he's getting paid regardless, right? So I think it's great, man. I really don't think that kid's going anywhere, and I really feel right now Benfica's in this stride where they're a club on upper momentum. We're very close to clinching number 37, and it feels like not only can we clinch number 37, we'll have the foundation to just plow through and go back to this back-to-back title campaign we're going on. Like the Benfica era is now. Like the era of Porto winning back-to-back titles, dominating, that's gone. Now it's Benfica's time. We constantly win. They might get a lucky year here and there, but it's our Liga, our company not.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, because I felt the same way when I seen the news. I'm like, that just means to me that João Felix is going to stick around another year. You're going to be getting paid for it. A 19-year-old kid making $2.5 million a year. That's still good money. You know what I mean? Like that's hard to turn down to stay somewhere.
That's great.
And I want to say this: it's not hard to stay at a team like Benfica. You know what I mean? It's not hard to stay there. It's not,
especially when you're about to win a championship. Like that's the thing. Like championships, it did it for Benfica when we were kind of on that last streak. It helps players say, I'll stick it out one more year. It helps new players say, you know what, if I'm going to go play anywhere in Portugal, I want to play for the number one team, right? And
Right.
it gives us a leg up in the transfer window. It gives us a leg up in how much we can demand. And to be honest, man, the transfer values we've gotten for players, like what we got for Edison and other guys, the contracts we've gotten other guys, they can trust and have some confidence that when they talk to our management saying, listen, you're going to get set up well. Stick it out with us. You're going to get even a bigger paycheck. And I'm glad he's listening. I'm glad he's sticking it out because I think it'll be great for the national team to develop him a bit better. He's going to play in the Nations League this summer. It'll be good for his experience. It's good for the club. We get a couple more titles under his belt. And we're going to get into it later on. But I was joking at the beginning with that song in a way. But we got 99 goals. Who's going to score number 100? I would love kind of the future national team star, a future Benfica type legend in the works right now as a young kid. If he pops number 100, that'd be sick. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We can't tell the future, right?
I mean, yeah, we can talk about it though. We can't tell it, but we can.
Oh yeah. And I've broken up a couple stats for us in a bit. But let me. I'll break down the game real quickly here, just to kick it off.
Let's do it.
We'll do the starting 11. We got Odie in the back, like we've always do. Almeida, Diaz, Ferro, Grimaldo, Pizzi, Florentino, Pantless, Samari, Rafa, João Felix, and Seferovic with Jetson, Servi, and Jonas coming off the bench, especially late in the game. Ooh, look at that Almeida goal point. We're at 3.8. I don't think I've seen a sub 4 in a while on goal point for a Benfica player.
Yo.
And Nuno Sanch got a. That's not the Benfica Nuno Sanch on the B team. That's a different Nuno Sanch, but he got the 6.8 on Real Ave there, so good on him.
Andre Almeida was the epitome of a showcase today. A complete sausage on the field today. That guy Gabriel Zinho. Yeah. This guy. There was a point in there was a 17. I made a mental note. There was a moment in this the 17th minute where Gabriel Zinho he took the ball. He was a couple feet behind Almeida. He ran past Almeida so fast. It was almost embarrassing. Almeida had to give up. He absolutely just gave up. He's like, there's no fucking way. Hopefully my center backs get to it. But Andre Almeida was getting burned all over the field today. And I'm not trying to get a guy a hard time. I wish it didn't happen. I don't want him to get burned. You know what I mean? I don't want him to have bad games, but he just on the defensive side today was just terrible. Terrible. They were fast. Real Ave was fast.
Hey, Real Ave, they've done amazing this season for a reason, man. Even if you look at the statistics for this game, you look at we beat them on shot by one extra shot, but it was a tight game. They're creating opportunities. It was almost a 50-50 possession game. Great passing efficiency. Look at the passing. That's a funny stat right there, the middle one. The efficiency of passing on average between the two teams, identical. They were passing well. We were passing well. It was a fight, man. It was a fight. And to kind of pick on Almeida a little bit, I would say, go back to him. I felt him and Cointreau were kind of having a pissing contest for a good chunk of the match. I think they're more worried about playing head games with each other than they kind of were on the field. And because they have had a lot of pass run-ins ever since Cointreau has left, right? So
that's true.
Yeah. So it kind of seems like they're preoccupied there. A couple of smart things also later on, like some of the cards we took, like Pizzi, clear yellow, but he did it to prevent the breakaway because Florentino was kind of left open. It would have been down to Ruben Diaz, and
that player threw that elbow after that. I wanted to also say something about that too.
Yeah.
I was hoping you brought it up. Because that yellow, I don't know. I mean, do you call something like that? Can you call something like that as a ref? Is that something?
Which one? The one after he pulled him, or
right after he pulled him,
he swung back. He kind of spun around. If he made better contact with Pizzi, then I'd be like a little bit more agitated, and I would expect something. But because there wasn't that strong of a contact, and really Pizzi just blatantly just manhandled the guy to stop. It was pure. He took the yellow.
That's what you're supposed to do. It's
smart. It's smart play. Later in the second half, when you're kind of having a bit of a hard time controlling the game, the guy might get a breakaway, and you're still further in the middle of the park. You can get away with doing a blatant foul like that and just letting it be a yellow. If you do that right on a breakaway, that's a red card if you're the last man. So he prevented that from happening. And you know what? Thankfully he did, because it was a tight game, and Real Ave did end up nicking one back eventually there, and it got close.
Yeah, I want to go to back to the first goal too. Fedu, he was so good today. Fedu was so amazing today. That first pass, that first goal came from Fedu to Almeida. Long, right? It bounced off Seferovic, then off the defender. And Rafa seems like he's just always there at the right moment. He knows exactly where to be every time, especially this season. He's just got a knack for the ball, nose for the ball. Wherever the ball is, Rafa was there today, almost. I mean, that first goal, cheeky little goal, right? Nice little.
Hey, that was a nice. I'm gonna call it a gift, man. Call it a gift.
And you know what? And I want to just say I brought it up because I'm thinking at that moment, fine, like cool. I could just sit back, enjoy my weed, relax. It's gonna be a good day. You know what I mean? 3 minutes. But yo, Rio Ave, again, there was stretches of that game where it was all Rio Ave. I mean, I'm telling you, they were killing us on the counterattack. Their players were so much faster than us. Like, even though we were more efficient as far as that first goal, Rio Ave, I mean, that first half, like I said, there were stretches of that game where we were playing their style of ball. We were playing how they wanted us to play. So I'm actually glad that ball came early. I think there's a lot of things that happened in our favor today. But that's what things that happen in your favor sometimes. That's what happens when you're playing well. You know what I mean? That's what happens when you have a lot of momentum on your side. That's what happens when you're the better team. You know, things bounce, things just go well for you. Things just happen to go well, whether it's a call, the Florentino call, I know we're going to bring it up, whether it's things like that, you just get the benefit of the doubt. It is just what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not anything. It's not, we had the referee who was trying to favor us or anything like that. Sometimes when a team is destined for something, the ball just bounces your way.
Hey, we've had games, and I've seen it this year and every other season, where you get a funny bounce and you get the lucky goal, kind of like what happened with Rafa. You get other situations where, you should win. Every shot's on target, just a freak event. It just nicks the post. It just sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it goes against your way. But really, the footy gods, they're kind of on our side right now, and I'm feeling quite good about it. And it happens. And yeah, we'll get into the Florentino thing shortly there. Did want to kind of bring up one item because you kind of look at the constant success we've been having, a lot of it with Rafa and Pizzi in the midfield. And I kind of had some of this ready to show on my end here, so I'll just bring it up real quickly here. And then we'll get Alex back on here with us. Perfect. So we got Pizzi and Rafa. 2 amazing days they both had. Rafa's a beast. Constant energy, constantly running, 31 accurate passes, 96% accuracy, which is just outstanding. Constantly hustling for the ball, battling for it. Another goal for this guy. We're going to, at the end of this show, after we wrap up the 2 halves, talk a little bit about some of the statistics coming in now that the season's starting to wrap up. Not quite over, but we do have one more game left. But then when we compare Rafa to Pizzi here, you kind of see it. The big difference, the accuracy was a little bit less, 83%, which was a team average of 44. So way more passes done. Still quite a bit of battles fought. Himself a goal, a beautiful goal. Several shots on target also from himself compared to Rafa. He had a few more shots on target on that end. Comparing Rafa and Pizzi, buddy, I'm not sure if you're back. Yeah, you're back here. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm here. My bad.
Yeah. No, it's all good. What'd you think?
As far as the comparison goes, as far as today or just in general?
Just today. I would say today. If you're looking at the 2 guys, the 2 attacking wingers that we have.
Well, I mean, if you compare, I mean, sometimes like Rafa just Rafa pops off the screen more. You know what I mean? Like without even I don't even want to not even the stats alone. Like Rafa just seems to pop off the screen more because of his speed. He's so fast. And at the end of the goal when we're celebrating, it's usually Rafa. Like I said, Rafa's the one involved. Pizzi's instrumental in being able to calm it down sometimes. Like when Benfica needs a good pass or something like that, Pizzi's able to get the ball in our half of the pitch and kind of not slow it down, but calm things down. Where he's more of a general. Rafa's more of a I don't want to say a brute, but more of a ball. He wants to handle the ball. He's more of a ball handler. He wants to take the ball and go. Where Pizzi's more creative. If he's the most creative player in Europe, if I'm not mistaken.
He's got some crazy stat on like creativity or assists or something. Like, you start seeing articles now. Portuguese Liga, Liga is not ranked the highest.
I read somewhere that he was the most creative, midfielder in Europe. I'm just, that's what happens. So I don't even think we can compare Rafa to Pizzi when you're the most creative midfielder.
I find the one thing on the attack, Rafa, it's so exciting to watch him. Like he darts out, he hustles. I agree with what you're saying, but yeah, Pizzi's creativity and also it seems like you can put Pizzi anywhere. You can put him in the attacking mid, the right, the left wing, defensive. Like he tends to try to do everything, right? And so he's, I think, the more well-rounded player, in my opinion. But yeah, it was good. And then João Felix, man, he's back. He found the back of the net again, which is.
But you know what, Mario? That's what makes it work. That they're completely different wingers.
It's not the same style, and also the ability
style.
And also the ability to swap around. Like I've seen times where Rafa can hit on the right, that Pizzi goes in the center. It makes it tougher. It allows Bruno Lage the comfort level. And it's funny, we joked right before we went live on this, but the comfort level that when he goes into halftime, readjust the squad a little bit and move it around and come in with a completely different team. And we've seen games where Benfica's not playing very well. And you're joking last show about how Benfica, man, I wanted to switch around. I want it to be, the second half be really good, just like the first half is, or no, vice versa. That we were having great second halves and terrible first halves. But today it was one of these where the first half was decent, it was good, tight game. But man, that second half still good. But holy cow, it was my heart in my throat half the time, especially in the dying 10 minutes of that game.
Yeah, it was hard not to think, right? It was hard not to think. Here we go. You know what I mean? They're gonna pull. They're gonna pull some bullshit, right? Yeah, exactly. It's hard not to. I didn't want to say their name, but it's hard not to think that that's what was about to happen, right? You're like, holy shit. But Benfica, those 2 goals that Benfica gave up in the second half were completely just lapse of concentration. It was just they let Rio Ave go forward with the ball. They let him. You know what I mean? Like it was like a soft zone, like in basketball where you're playing a zone, like you're playing 3 guys and we're supposed to take care of this much space, right? But you're just letting them come and nobody's. You know what I mean? Nobody's actually attacking or pressing the player. Nobody's actually putting a body on the player, man to man. So you just let Rio Ave. That first goal was just them, playing back. Rio Ave strikes and gets an easy pass up the middle to what's his name, Tarantini or what?
Tarantini. Yeah, I think it's I don't know how they pronounce it Portuguese, but
yeah, I mean,
it sounds like Tarantini.
You let him come up, and the second goal, the same thing. The same thing. It was just a lapse of concentration. Nobody was paying attention. It felt like Benfica knew, or it felt like the players kind of knew in the second half, like, oh, we got this, right? They're like, that's what it felt like to me. That's what those 2 goals felt like to me, that they felt like they got it. So now, Rio Ave is 1 goal away, and like you said, the last 10 minutes of the match, oh my god, it was nerve-wracking. It really was.
Yeah, no, it's craziness, and I'm glad. I gotta admit, I saw Odie got a yellow. Actually, for some reason, I can't. When did that happen?
Time wasting. That happened later on. That happened like the 90th minute. Actually, it happened in the 90th minute. That's exactly what happened.
Because that's the part I don't know why you get caught up in the excitement, and I'm watching it with family, and you're talking partway through, right? So that's the one part where I was like, where the hell did that happen? Because I noticed it afterwards. But man, I think the team's looking good. Ruben Diaz, I got confused because Ruben Diaz got his 10th yellow of the season. Center backs tend to get lots of cards. I know after you get 5 yellows.
Yellows though.
Yeah, so after 5 yellows, you get suspended. I thought it was every 5, but I didn't realize it's a declining scale. So after you get 5 yellows, not consecutive, but just throughout the season, you get an automatic suspension. Then when you get 4, so you already served the suspension for accumulated yellows. So now he's on the next one. If you get now 3 yellows, you'll then serve. So it kind of declines a little bit. So that way it kind of deters you from constantly doing it. But that means he's good for the final game of the season. Right. So he's good. We got
that Pizzi yellow didn't mean anything, did it?
Yeah, he's good. Odie's good. Grimaldo's good. Like everyone that got cards, it's not going to impact our starting players. I think so. The Pizzi one was tactical, very smart. But even Grimaldo, from my understanding, is good also. So Nothing to worry about on that front. Everyone's looking good. So you wanna talk about the Cueca gate, the Cueca situation?
Yeah, I thought that was the funniest shit ever, and it got me up out of my seat. It got me hyped, and it got me thinking, yo, Samaris gets it. He gets it, right? Sign this guy immediately. Sign this fucking guy immediately, man. Give him the 0.7 what he wants. Just give him
1.5, 1.7.
He gets it. Yeah, I'm not helping you up, motherfucker. Are you kidding me?
He's a leader in the locker room. He's a leader on the field, man. How he's improved, and then he's the way he learned Portuguese so well so early when he first joined Benfica, and the way he interacts with the fans. And he knows the animosity that fans have, especially with Fabio Contrao doing when he went to Sporting. And not only did he go because players go to rivals every so often, but it was him then posing a photo saying Benfica merda, and him talking shit about Benfica. And just his general attitude, because he had a bit of an arrogance after the whole Real Madrid stint, and kind of bit him in the ass because at the end of the day he didn't do as well as he was supposed to at Sporting, and he's now fallen off to the point where he's back. He calls it being back home at the club he now loves because he loved Benfica, loved Real, loved Sport. Now it's Real Ave, but he has this nasty attitude, and Samaris knows that. He knows the fans know that, and I guess the sportsmanship thing to do was to grab his hand, but he said, no, you get up, you help yourself, and he grabbed the shorts, and typically if someone was to do that in a regular game, you'd see a fight ensue, and you kind of saw Almeida right away, like, started running towards it because he thought it was going to escalate, and so he's like, no, it's all good, this is on you, buddy, I'm not touching you,
Yeah,
I'm not
Almeida was
even engaging, I'm not even talking to you, get out of here.
Yeah, Almeida was acting like a little bitch the whole time, anyways.
But Almeida, him and Almeida, Fabio Quintero and Almeida go back for several years now. It's like this constant. They do some dirty hits on each other. There's serious animosity between the two of them. But at the same time, Almeida was like, somebody's like, no, leave it. It's all good, man. He's a nobody. He's not worth our time. And that was kind of the attitude he gave, and I loved it. Fabio was pissed, and it's like and even like when the ref came and approached them, somebody's like, no, leave him. I don't care. He doesn't need a card. Like he wasn't even like asking for a card, Fabio.
The funniest thing was Samaris didn't even worry about pulling up his pants right away. You know what I mean? He
just wanted some of this. Hey, you want some of this?
Yeah, exactly. I think Samaris is the Chorizo of the match.
Well, you literally showed a Chorizo, but hey, hey, you like what you see. He starts whipping out his Greek. Oppa!
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh man. So I kind of prepared something fun. I kind of wanted to show. So I was as we were getting set up, I was goofing off. So the 100 goals in a season club. This happened 3 times in the history of the Portuguese Liga. Sporting was the first one to get that honor. They did it in 48, 49, 100 goals in a season. Benfica in the Zebi days, 103 to get the all-time best, and then 101 to get the second time. And now we're at 99 goals. 99 goals right now. One more game. I picture it being very hard not to enter the club to get a third time. I was surprised when I looked at Porto. They're not on the list. That's good. They never did it, which is funny. But yeah, Alex, who do you think? Who do you think is going to be that number 100?
The number 100. Who's going to score number 100? I think it'd be fitting right now if Rafa did it. To me,
because of the momentum he's on.
Yeah, because of I think if he did it, just the streak he's on, the how he's been playing. I think it would be fitting if Rafa did it. That would be my pick if I was a betting man. I'd say Rafa's going to get the 100, and he's usually the first. He's usually scoring first, right? He's on the score sheet first the last couple games, if I'm not mistaken. So it'd be easy for me to pick Rafa. I think Rafa's going to score the 100. Tarapt is not going to score the 100 goal.
Kevin, Tarapt just said
Tarapt. You know what though?
Could you imagine, man?
Scored the 100 goal, but that means it's like a 0-0 game or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like
that means you have to come off the bench or something like that.
Yeah, that would mean in the second half you'd have to come in and do some crazy shit and win the game. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. It'd be a good memory. I'd laugh. But Taarabt is not scoring that fucking goal. It's gonna be Rafa. I'm gonna.
We got. Cynthia said Jonas, but Peter Parker made a good point because since Jonas is not our starting player, exact same scenario. That if it's Jonas scoring the 100, it means that we're struggling and we're tossed on a striker near the end to get that critical goal. So, and we got our friend Luis 21, João Felix. I would love João Felix. I really would love that. And then another thing I got up on the screen that people can see right now is the top 10 goal scorers at the moment. This obviously might change in the final 9 days. The Golden Boot race is ridiculously tight. So if you want to make an argument for why Seferovic should have goal 100, it is so that also Benfica wins the Golden Boot because you got Bruno Fernandes with 20 goals. But wait, correct me if I'm wrong. He's suspended. Is he not suspended for the next game or no? Is he playing next game? Bruno Fernandes? Or no, it's a different guy that got. Never mind. My mistake. It was different. Sporting guy got a red card. Bruno Fernandes is going to play against Port, I believe.
I was going to say, see, fucking told you. See that shit? I was about to say, you about to have me go crazy, Mario.
Yeah, no, you're right, buddy. No, I was just thinking about, but yeah. But look at the season, man. We got 4 guys. I can't count. 4 Benfiquistas in the top 10. 1 Portista, right? You got Sporting with 2 guys. You got Tondela, which that actually surprises the fuck out of me. Tondela's got a guy. Yeah, but they're about to get. Are they not on the verge of relegation here? And they're in the top 10 for. Yeah, I guess he's the only one that's scoring goals for them, which is why they're near relegation.
Pretty much.
Busy 12 goals.
Hey, Pizzi's goal today, that was so nice and calm, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was so nice and beautiful. He stood right there. And sometimes Pizzi takes too long to pull the fucking trigger. And when he had perfect amount of time. He had so much time to get it off. It was so perfect, so calm and collected, put it off. It hit the post, but shit, it went in. It didn't matter.
There is a chance it's funny. So we got Kevin. So Kevin obviously likes Sporting. He made a comment that Bruno Fernandes is on the verge of getting suspended if he gets a second yellow. And if he gets a second yellow against Porto, he can't play the Taça final. So Sporting have nothing to play for outside of pride. Yeah, obviously you always want to be a main rival, but it'll be interesting
if he gets a yellow in this game, he's got to out for the Taça.
Yeah, applied. So the cards apply for both the Taça and so
is that right?
The semifinals, if it was you got a red card and you're going to you can't play in the semis. Like it's intertwined in the same card system. So in a way, you can't go and play dirty your final game thinking you're scot free. There is like an incentive for if he does play to be cautious, and if he's playing cautious and not hustling as hard, plus they're missing a couple of guys, I don't know. We'll see how Sporting does.
Why though? Why is it like that? Why is it? I don't understand that.
Portugal they do everything ass backwards.
It's a totally different fucking competition. That doesn't make any sense.
We still don't have. This is funny, Alex. We don't have official match kickoff times for the final game, which is coming up 7 days from now.
I know you wanted to get a little. I know you wanted to get it. Oh man, I know you wanted to. Did you do something?
I was gonna do like a mini show on kind of like.
We'll just take care of it. We can take care of it all.
I'm not gonna rant as much because I thought sometimes you need to cool off. Sometimes we go into this very heated and it's fun after a game, and I'm very excited for how we did. But there was a situation earlier this week that got me really heated, and I needed to relax a little bit about it because emotions get you saying some crazy things also sometimes, and I don't want to be a dick about certain things, but at the same time, I do have some stuff on my chest.
I feel it. I do too. Little hairs.
Oh, buddy. I got a sweater. Look at that shit. Yeah, I got Alex's share on mine.
Got a couple. Just a couple.
It all went south. Like it didn't. It all just migrated. I never did lose my hair.
Look, man. Today was it was a tough game. I'm glad that Benfica is just they're doing what it takes to get the results, to get the job done. You know what I mean? That's what's nice to see. It can't always be flashy. It can't always be goals and bunches. It can't always be, explosions of offense. You know what I mean? It can't always be that. It's just nice. Like I said, it's nice to see them just taking care of business each game. Santa Clara gave us some fits the last time we played them. It was a tough game. I mean, we pulled it. But I go into the next game thinking that Benfica is going to come out. You remember when we played Guimarães that season to win? I was 30. Was it 35? Was that 35?
Which one?
The last game against Guimarães where we scored. I mean, we just killed them. It was, I think. Well, yeah, it was 35.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we came out. Ederson kicks the long pass to Raul Jimenez to get the first goal. It was beautiful, beautiful goal to start it off. I think we're gonna have one of those again. I think the C was at Tetra. So I think that I think
there was like a
in,
5-0. I think I was at that game. At 5-0, I think I
that
5-1.
game like that with that type of feel. You know what I mean? I think with that type of energy, and
My only nervousness I had, and this is kind of the only anxiety I got right now. I think we're champions. I'm not supposed to say it. I think we're champions. I think we're going to win this title. I think shame on us if we cannot beat Santa Clara at the Luge in the final game. We should at the very least get the draw. We should win. Not even I don't want to see a 1-0. I want to see a big one. Like when I went to Tetra and they like just slaughtered Guimarães, they slaughtered them. At the same time, from now until that game kicks off, when they finally announce when we're going to play, it might be in 5 days they'll announce this shit. That the club's also planning the Marrakech. They're planning kind of some of the celebrations. They're going to be doing interviews with the players. They're probably going to have more cameras on the players kind of in the practice times and things of the sort than they normally do, because they'll probably do some montage videos after all that stuff. There'll be that conversation when they're eating food, when they're sitting down breaking bread. And then I'm curious, we'll see if they have the face painting and stuff like that, because they had that against Guimarães and stuff. And they've had it the past few times when they think it's that title-winning game. They kind of spray paint their hair red. I always get scared when you kind of get up to the festivities, which is great. I love it. I love it when you get the festivities and you win. But I don't know, Alex. I get a little bit nervous because sometimes that kind of goes to your head a little bit. Plus, Santa Clara goes into this game. They got nothing to lose, nothing to win. There's no impact for them whether they win or lose. This is all for pride. For their players, it's all about making a show. And if they face a team, because Benfica is going to have the big banners right before kickoff that says, Reconquista, Rumo 37. They'll have all this stuff. Campeonato, they'll have the championship, the title, all that stuff raised around the banners right before kickoff. Those Santa Clara players will go, don't sleep on us. And they're gonna do everything in their power. But I got a feeling we're gonna dominate them. But I'm confident. But I always get a little bit worried if you kind of sleep on the team, and then just to kind of break down Santa Clara a little bit. 4-4 is what they just got yesterday against Samaris, which wasn't a great result, to be honest. Tondela, which are a weaker side, 3-1. They tied Stubble. They lost a tight 1-0 against Porto. So they played it. I saw that game against Porto. Santa Clara could have easily drew that game or won that game. So, not much there. 1-1, 1-1. And you go all the way back to Vitória Guimarães, only 1-1-0. And then Sporting beat them 1-0, 0-0. But you kind of get the trend. It's a very, outside of that Tondela game and the Fluminense game, which I don't know what the hell happened there, it's been a very tight team to face. They're not a team that scores many goals or allows many goals, but they've had an outstanding season. How do you feel, man? Do you feel like that's it? We have this?
Aren't they like 8th in the Liga too?
8th in the Liga. First season up in years, right? They're a promoted side, right? So they've had a great year. Man. I think we have it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call it until it's done, but I don't, like you said, shame on us if we can't go into the Luge and beat Santa Clara. You know what I mean? I think it's a wrap.
I think we got it. I think the Santa Clara also will know that Bruno Lage is a mean treinador. He wants to not win 1-0, 2-0. Bruno Lage is probably sitting there saying, "Hey, Rui Vitória won the Tetra with 5 goals. Guys, you got to have more than 5 in you."
11. I need 11.
He is mean. He's like, remember that time we scored 10-0? It should have been 11-0. It's an embarrassment we didn't get that high. Like, he's just that's the thing we all love about Bruno Lage, is he has this mentality that he's built into the players. It's never enough. And I think it's going to be loud. I think the fans are going to go ballistic. It's a funny feeling, like the thing I love, and I'm going back to 2 years ago when I went myself, and I was lucky enough to actually experience that, was just everyone singing "Campeões." Like as soon as we score a goal, it was 1-0 early in the first half, and we're already singing champions and this and that. We're the champions, and it's a fun vibe, and we got a lot of friends going there, so I hope they have a lot of fun and they get a good memory out of it. But man, is it ever that until that first goal? Shit.
Man. Yeah,
I hope it's
the real that first goal. That's why I said, man, it can't always be pretty, but I hope this last game is. I hope this last game is really pretty.
Yeah. So I'll do a quick rant on something. not to be negative, we talked about throughout the week this whole situation with the ticket sales, blah blah blah. I kind of see a lot of social media situations that I have for people that I haven't followed. So typically in the past, I'm going to use my own experience. So I was in Canada. I actually went to the Casa Benfica to watch the Rio Ave game, all that fun stuff. And then it was a couple days prior when the tickets went on sale, no different than this. Portugal's funny like that. They sell tickets very last minute. And so the only way to buy tickets for the final is normally they release it to socios and a day later to the public. When it's a game like this, the public doesn't get access. It's all socios. Typically with socios, you can buy your socio ticket plus a bunch for friends if you wanted to. It's only one ticket per person. You can't buy for friends. If you're a member, you can buy, and that's it. And that's typically the process. So I had to stay up quite, not stay up late, but I ended up waking up quite early in the middle of the night because it opens right sharp in the morning, Portugal time, so 5-hour difference for us. And you kind of sit online, and then the internet, the website crashes. It takes a couple hours, and eventually you get your tickets. And then throughout the rest of the day, it keeps selling. That's a Tetra was a historic event. It had never happened for Benfica, so everyone wanted those tickets. And by later in the day, it did sell out. In the case this time around, two things happened. A, the website still screwed up like it always did. This time it screwed up for a longer period of time. And in addition to that, in the past, the whole Red Pass situation, while it existed, it wasn't as popular. You didn't have as many people with the Red Pass. My understanding is you got over 40,000 plus people with Red Passes. That means you got to think of supply and demand. There's a stadium with 65,000 people, 40,000 plus seats are not for sale. Then you got the away tickets. I don't know, Santa Clara got an allotment of 5,000 or whatever they got. Plus you get some like VIP stuff and some other stuff that gets pushed aside. So you're looking at about maybe 20,000 tickets remaining. The Stadio Luz itself sells tickets directly, so allotment for them, allotment to the casas, and my understanding is individuals that had that lived in Portugal, a lot of the casas could get tickets right away that morning because they got access to a special system. So people were leaving their socios. Luis told me a story of a friend who just leaves the socio overnight, and then the morning when the casa opens right away, they're getting a ticket on the system. So really, you have a very small amount of tickets truly available. And when the site went down, by the time it was working, it was finito. And unfortunately, a lot of people that are in North America, the UK, heck, it could have been guys in Madeira or guys elsewhere that are in Angola that were planning to go see Benfica, right? They didn't really have the option to buy a ticket. And it's a screw up by Benfica because they screwed up on the website. I think they've oversold the Red Pass a bit because it's restricting the ability of socios to buy tickets, which I think is unfair. And what ends up happening, the most fanatical fans, like a Luigi.
And the Red Pass, all right. And the Red Pass is basically season tickets. Is that right?
Yeah, so what you do is you buy your socio and then you buy an extra bit more and you have season tickets. So that's pretty much what it is. And they sell them in either like a half season or a full season, kind of see in North America. And then the last thing I want to but you always see an aftermarket. You always see people selling after the fact. That's normal in all sports. You know what? Someone bought a product. They want to flip the product. Think of what you think about those people. At the end of the day, someone wants to do it. It's all about supply and demand. Someone wants to pay for it. Whatever. I'll see people say, it's unethical they do it. And people that are diehard Benfica, but I tell you, if someone walked up with $1 million and goes to like a diehard Benfica, I'll give you $1 million for your ticket. And it's a Benfica that lives in Lisboa and sees Benfica every single goddamn year, goes to every single game. You'll probably take that cool $1 million and go enjoy one hell of a time, right? So
or just enough to pay for your Red Pass that you watched every other game, and now look, if one game is going to pay for the rest of my season, done. I'll watch it. I'll be at the mega bar.
I don't like there's some people that are, I don't want to call them scumbags. Some people that are taking advantage of the situation, but the other people that they are in financial situations that you don't know. Maybe the price point gets so attractive. I Googled online here, like, because we have different ticket websites you can buy like secondhand. There's someone in Canada for $500 Canadian selling a ticket. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's some guy that is well off and he's just taking advantage of the situation, or some guy that says, if I got $500, it's going to change my life. The other situation I want to talk about then.
I want to say real quick, this is special. It's like a special situation because the Red Pass and the socio, the dynamic, right? Like in America, baseball games, things like that. Like there are so many tickets available just to normal, like usually, how do I say? Usually, a team like this doesn't have that many socios, or somebody doesn't, I mean, they Benfica markets to their socios, so we make a big deal about it having, the most socios and all that. I don't think there's anything wrong with offering them the tickets first either, though, if that's what you market on, you know what I mean? Like,
And the thing is, the socios, and here's the unique part about Benfica. And this is something when people in Canada, when I talk to individuals, they go, "Oh, your soccer team's Benfica," and I'm like, "But it's special. It's different." Like, what do you mean it's different? Well, you know how in APL they sell season tickets. You don't see that done. Like, this is going back a couple of years ago. This has now changed completely, especially this season. But historically, Benfica did not sell season tickets. They sold a tiny bit or a small allotment, but the club was not a big amount of season ticket sales. It was all about socios. And so, what's special about Benfica? We have no owner. It's yes, the club wants to make profit and wants to make money, but they want to make money so they can perform on the pitch. They're not trying to make money to put money in the owner's pocket. You hear stories about Arsenal where the owners do that. You hear stories about the Maple Leafs in Toronto for hockey. They do that. You hear stories about other franchise owners in the NFL and NBA. Some of them invest back in teams. Some of them, to them, it's like, yeah, $1 back to the team, $1 for me. And some owners are just very generous and they want to give back to fans. I want to be a championship winner, and they're just going to keep pouring money even if they're losing money. But Benfica, what was unique about it is the mass public, the 250 plus socios, got together, and we all pay a little bit for this socio. And the idea being it's going to average down the price for tickets for everyone that wants to go to a game. And in exchange, you have the ability, the right to apply to go to a game. And what happened with the website being down is you typically would have the most fanatical people. I consider myself one of those that woke up stupidly early to go. I know many other people, Luis, many other friends we know, woke up early. They're the most fanatical. They want to go. They'll pay. They paid their socio for years. They got the right to buy a ticket, and if they lined up, they should have got a ticket because not everyone lines up that early. And with the Tetra game, which was the most historic one in recent history, it went for hours upon hours before it filled up. So if you were a socio and you showed up 4 hours after the fact and you didn't get a ticket, well, hey, not being a dick, but show up right away if you truly, because you know it's a hot item. But the fact is, the guys and gals that did show up right away, they didn't even have the chance to buy it. And it's because so many tickets were taken off the market. So then what happens is the most fanatical of us are the ones that are likely more willing to break and say, fuck it, I'll pay $200 for a ticket. So with the Tetra game, there was an aftermarket. The aftermarket prices were not this high. They're this high because fanatical fans were not allowed buying tickets. And it inflated the aftermarket. Because there's always going to be a percentage of people that sell a ticket to make money. That will always be there. You can't eliminate it. But if you create a system that takes away the ability of the diehard fans from buying it, you're going to inflate the aftermarket. It happens to any sport.
So where did these tickets that were taken off the market, where did they go? Are they exist?
It's not like the Red Pass. So historically, like I would have to look at the numbers, but maybe it was 20,000, less than 20,000 Red Pass for the Tetra game. So when I go on the website, I have like it's a 65,000 seater. You have tens of thousands more tickets to grab, right?
So if you have a Red Pass, you already have your ticket for this game.
You're guaranteed a ticket. So what it did is like the 40,000+ Red Passes. Think of it like seasons. They weren't for sale. So right away, a chunk of the available slot is gone. Just like if you go to the NFL and you want to buy a regular ticket and you decide to look in advance, you'll see like majority savings already. So that's usually season ticket holders have it. So it's slim pickings. But because the website didn't even work, and in Lisboa, people could have lined up right away in the morning and picked up tickets, it was done. It went quicker than it normally does. Normally, it doesn't sell out that quick. And then the final point that I want to add is that Benfica hasn't yet apologized or made any comments. This has been an ongoing issue. Back when I went for the Tetra game, the website it was constant issues with the website at the time. It's been constant issues throughout the
What would their apology sound like, though?
It'd be as simple. You know what? I was joking with Luis. Here's a quick story. You kind of make a gag about.
I just want to say I'm not trying to go against the grain or be. I just want to be that guy.
But yeah, okay. High level. However you want to spin it, the club needs to acknowledge, hey, this happened. It is what it is. Tough shit. We can't change the past. We're not going to reissue tickets. So you can't magically make seats. But could say, hey, this is what happened. It has happened before in the past. We're a big club. We make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. This season, we promise we're going to spend a little bit of money on our website because Ticketmaster doesn't go down like that. You don't see websites going down like that. Like you look at financial institutions, corporations, Amazon. You look at small companies, big companies. As your company grows and your website presence grows, you have to put more money into your servers. Benfica has not put money back into their website like they should be. And so because Benfica makes a ton of money off fans, they should do something that's the website's for the fans, right? You gotta my only ask for the club, if someone from the club was listening, take a little bit of time, call João, the IT guy, at 1-800 Jean Cagan or whatever the hell his number is, and he'll fix it. and just fucking add more servers. I'm not a computer guy. I don't know this shit, so I'm gonna sound like an idiot. Put more routers, put more gigabytes, do whatever the hell you gotta do.
Okay,
Corporations do it all the time.
Is every seat gonna have an ass in it?
Maybe not. No guarantee. Because here's the other issue with the Red Pass. Because the Red Pass guaranteed those tickets, we're not selling them because those people get it. We just assume those people are going to go show up. Now, you could have people that – now, I'm going to assume everyone's going to show up. The stadium should be full.
How much is a Red Pass?
Red Pass – oh, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that okay. It's like what? 180 euros more.
Wait, how much is a Red Pass? If I went to Portugal and bought a Red Pass, so I become.
So let me break it down this way. You go and get yourself. So I'm gonna pick on Walter.
I want to sit. I want to get. I can. I don't want to say how much I can afford, but I can afford a good seat. I can.
No. Let's go. Walter got right by the front row. Right by the front row. He got a half season pass. He paid $90, 90 euros. So let's say 120. 100 US.
So he paid $100.
9 fucking games.
So let's say he paid $200. So I will not be upset if someone paid $200 for a whole season and went and turned around and sold the last game for $250, $300.
They made their money back huge.
That's genius. But
this is where Benfica is stupid.
Entrepreneur. That's a smart motherfucker right there.
They're selling these tickets for it's basically $10 a game. And now I'm gonna get the whole other chat. This is where people get really offended about the reselling. They go, "Oh, someone's selling it for $150, they're gouging." I'm like, "Oh, what should they sell it for?" And people will come up with different price points. I'm like, the guy paid $10 for the seat if you're a Red Pass person. That's all he paid, the average price. At the end of the day, it's like, well, should he be reselling it for $10? Is that the ethical thing to do? It's like, God, no, you'd be a moron. And what you're seeing a lot of is, you know, Luigi and a few other guys are harassing some of these people trying to gouge people. They're kind of having some fun with them. But some of the comments, they're smart aleck. But the honest truth is, listen, if you're not going to pay me $200, you want $50 for a ticket because that's where people are kind of setting the going price at. So I might as well just fucking go to the game myself then. And it's like, well, I don't.
Or somebody's going to give me what I'm asking for. You know what I mean? Or somebody's actually going to give me $200 for this fucking ticket.
But see, I think this gets mitigated when you give. If you have a running website and then most fanatical fans go on early and they go for it, and they're all socios because it's only socios, they would get a ticket. The aftermarket doesn't have as many of these rabid people willing to pay that amount. So you can't – the secondary market and selling tickets wouldn't be as high because then you're down to people who were lazy and didn't want to show up or they were kind of wishy-washy about the idea. And you still got people that go and pay it. You got people last minute they go. And then Benfica, I don't know how many tickets. Some people say it's 100 tickets. Some people say it's 1,000 tickets. But they took one section of tickets and they did a VIP thing charging $350 for these extra tickets that they didn't sell that day. So Benfica said, oh, it's sold out. And then later that day released an ad saying, yeah, we got a few more tickets at $350. So the club itself was setting the price at $350. And everyone's like, oh, that's a VIP experience. It's different. You get food. I'm like, if anyone's been to Portugal, 50 euros, you eat like a fucking king. So take away 50 euros, $300 is what they're charging for the ticket.
Yeah, I was gonna say
the VIP thing has no player visit for nothing.
First round's on me. Easy. Shit. We can party for real.
It's nuts.
Look, I mean, obviously, I'm speaking. I'm not trying to talk like I'm trying to make money off Benfica or anything like that. Nah, I mean, they make a lot of money off of us. I mean, you know how many of these fucking jerseys I got upstairs? Oh, yeah. I got 3 more I ordered coming to the house. Like 3 more. Like we spent a lot of money too. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not trying to be the fucking moral compass. I'm not the Benfica authority on what's right or fucking wrong, but I just hope for me, like I said, I got the best seat in the house. I'm gonna be on my fucking couch with Pops. We're gonna watch Benfica win the championship. I'm gonna get to do it my way. But like I said, and I don't want to be the moral compass or the Benfica authority, but I just hope for me that there's an ass in every seat, and whoever's there screams really fucking loud all game. I want to hear singing all game. My TV is gonna be turned up all the way. Whoever goes, whoever made it in, the VIP, whoever the fuck you are.
Yeah. Like, if it's a Red Pass person that paid on average $10 for the ticket, someone that was able to get it for $50, if someone got it for $150.
Shame on you if you didn't buy a Red Pass. How about that? That's what I'm thinking. Shame on you.
My only issue.
Shame on you if you don't own, if you live in Lisboa and you don't own a Red Pass. Shame on you.
This is the only issue I have with the Red Pass. Now get this. This is where I kind of get really ticked off with it. it was never the main core ticket allotment. The reason why Benfica has 250,000 plus socios, yes, it's a big club, but it gives everyone the right to buy a ticket. You now sell everyone a red pass. The socio is pointless. Let's just be honest. Call a spade a spade. The socio does nothing. People might get and say, "Oh, what about the Molida?" Just
What
not.
if they make the red pass available to only socios?
No, it is only for socios. So socios. No. What I'm saying, Alex, is I'm going to use myself. I pay for socio, right? If they sell red passes across the board, let's say 65,000 seats, 60,000 of them are red pass. That means me as a socio can never get a ticket. I have to always buy in the aftermarket.
So Benfica
then why am I paying
and need to raise the price on the red pass?
Either raise the price on the red pass,
raise the price, that
or
makes
limit the amount of red passes. Because here's how the socio system works: 250,000 plus people pay for socios. Idiots like myself, I play for multiple socios. What socios are used for is also to lower the average price of tickets. The reason these red pass people got an average of $10 a ticket is because there's so many goddamn socios. If you say, "Oh, we're gonna
and they're ass backwards with them," that's ass backwards.
No, but the idea is
in America they want you to buy a season ticket.
No, but they're trying to drive up the price when they do that, right? Yes. So what happens though to me is you're gonna have an inversion. If let's say you sell 60,000 plus red passes next season, if they decide to extend it because it's so popular, people are gonna start canceling their socios. Because if I'm not a red pass holder, why am I going to keep a socio? Right?
But if you're a socio, why don't you have? I mean,
no, I see what you're saying. But the 250,000 people can't have red pass.
If you're in Lisboa or in the surrounding vicinity, okay? If you're able to go, is what I'm saying all the time. If you're a socio, I mean, Benfica, I mean, they should raise the price maybe to make it more exclusive, I guess. But I guess, I mean, to make it more
they should do that. But because they're doing it this route, so what will happen is, and just let me finish this one last point here, is if I can't get a ticket at Benfica because I'm a socio because they sell too much red passes and this becomes the new standard, then why am I paying the 100 plus euros? Same with Cynthia's. And I got the kids for a fucking socio. The 250,000 plus socios will drop down to like 60,000 socios because of the red pass holders. The average ticket price will skyrocket. I can still afford it if I go to Portugal because I'll just buy it on the aftermarket. But it will fuck up the pricing. That's why to me, I like the old system. I like it mainly for socios.
But you're not just a socio to buy tickets.
Yes and no. You are and you're not. A socio gives you the right to kind of go to Molidad to buy tickets for that. It gets discounts at the gas station in Portugal.
Okay. And I'm saying,
but what I'm saying is the North American fan, the UK fan, the Australian fan that pays for a socio, they do it for the bragging rights, and they do it for the day they go to Portugal, so they can at least always have a seat. But if you no longer have a seat and you don't get all the perks of having a socio in Portugal, why are you going to have one?
I mean, yeah, I get it. But, I mean, to me, and I would say this, Tim, for me, I would become a socio just to be a part of Benfica. That's just my mentality. I'm not saying it's wrong to think the other way, but to me, it just makes it always seem like it brought me closer to the club, not necessarily
that's why I did it. Like,
or just to say that I'm a part, right? So there is no owner. We're all the owners. So I'm like, I'm an owner, right? We own the team, right? Me and my brothers, me and my family, me and we own the team, right? But now, and I'm not saying right, but to me, I'm just saying that's why my mentality would be a socio. I mean, maybe a lot of people are socios, and a lot of those people are probably old guys, old people who probably don't even attend these games anymore, who don't even go to these games anymore. That's how old this club, that's how deep rooted this club is. I mean, like I said, I'm just trying to go against the grain. There was a lot of fucking hoopla about this shit. There was like a lot of fucking people were mad, and I get it, but this isn't the first time. It shouldn't be surprising. It's not. I think
the ask for the club is, fuck, if you're not going to apologize, you're not going to even acknowledge it, just go and spend some money.
I get that.
And fix your website, man. Because Alex, the day's going to come. You're going to go to Lisboa. Yeah. And you're going to go, I want to go on the website. And they go, tickets are $50 or wherever they are. And you're like, great. I'm gonna go. And the damn computer, if the system does not work, and you're like, come on. And it's like, you know what, Alex, you would have got tickets. But guess what? We don't care about your business. And we decided to just not upgrade the website. And so now you got to go and pay $200. It's not that, like, if you last minute go to Portugal, the tickets are already sold, you're going to pay the $200. You don't care. You're going to go. But it's kind of like think of the Chivas game coming up. You go on the website didn't work. And for some reason, it just doesn't work. And it doesn't work in California. It works everywhere else. And that was the issue. It worked for people in Lisbon, people at the Casa, their systems work. So everyone's buying tickets, but you can't buy tickets. And then finally they go, oh, yeah, it's finally working. By the way, it's sold out, but here's this other option where you pay 5 times more. That's why people were kind of ticked. Is like, what the hell? And it's like, why didn't it work? It's like, to be honest, we just don't give a shit. That's why it doesn't work. And that's kind of the message people are getting, right? And Benfica, and this is the mentality that's so nice. Most of us acknowledge we're a big club, not only in Portugal, but we're a big global club. We got fans all over the world. Act like it. Don't act like a regional club. You're not a small club mentality of a small regional Lisboa club. You're a big club. Have your website working. And they've been investing a bit on it. They've added an English section, a Spanish section and stuff in the main website. But come on, man. It's not rocket science. Every single basic business can pay an IT company to make this work. It's not, you just got to pay. That's all you got to do is you got to pay. We got a lot of money. We can pay for this. It's not going to bankrupt the club. It's just fix the system. And then one last comment on the socios is if you're a Rio Ave fan, so we're talking about Rio Ave, the average Rio Ave fan pays more to see Rio Ave, even when it's not Benfica or Porto, than a Benfica does when they're facing Tondela. Like when Rio Ave goes to the Estádio Luz, Benfica fans pay less than when Rio Ave faces a team in their stadium, even if it's a shitty team. No, they don't pay less; they pay more. They pay more. So the reason why they pay more is because of socio. Rio Ave doesn't have enough socios, so the ticket price have to be higher to make it, because it's a business. You have to pay the players. You got to pay salaries. So the socio prices down the ticket. The more socios you have, the cheaper your tickets get. That's the point of socios. If you do something that pushes away the incentive from people to have socios, it'll raise ticket prices. So it's a catch-22. That's why I think this Red Pass, I don't mind the idea of it, but you got to put a few more controls on it, or else I get worried about it hurting the social membership, which then in turn will raise ticket prices. And I know it's tight sometimes in Portugal for money, and I love the thought when I talk to people about Benfica is that some guy that works at a grocery store with his kid that doesn't make much income, he can at least once a year take his kid to watch Benfica, and if he's a socio. And the reason why the tickets are so cheap is because I'm paying socios every year, and there's people in the UK paying socios every year, and there's people in Algarve that might see Benfica once a year paying socios. We're all paying so that way everyone can enjoy the right to watch the team at a very, very cheap margin, right? Because the idea is we're a club, we're not paying this money to an owner, we're paying this money. I'm paying this so Manuel, Carlos, Zé, Maria, everyone can go and watch the Benfica at an affordable price. And when I heard that Benfica didn't take the website seriously and it's costing the average Joe more money, that's why it kind of was agitating. We're a club of the people for the people kind of thing, and just keep it that way. That's I don't maybe cut back the amount of Red Passes you give next year so there's a bit more allotment so this doesn't happen again.
I agree.
Because the Red Pass, what it does also, one last point on it, because how cheap it is now, Alex, if you're going to go to, if you say next season, I'm going to go to the side of Luge to watch a game, heck, I know I'm going to get stuck paying $100 for a ticket. I might as well just buy a Red Pass and leave an empty seat all season long so I can watch my one game. And there's been a lot of games in this past season where Stade Luge is saying technically most of the seats are paid for, but you see a lot of empty seats. And the reason why you're seeing so many empty seats is Red Pass people don't go to the game. Because you got people that I know, and I don't fault them, that they know they couldn't get tickets unless they're a Red Pass holder, so they bought a Red Pass. And when I'm going to buy the Red Pass, and the next 8 seats will be empty, and it's not my problem because I can either give someone $200 when I go to Lisboa, or I can pay $100 now and guarantee my seat. So it's hurting the attendance, the atmosphere also. So there's like
that's what I would do, Mario. I would buy
my I'm being honest, because of this kerfunkel, unless Benfica fixes their shit, if I'm going the Luge next year and I want to see Benfica versus Porto, I want to see a marquee game, I'm buying a Red Pass and the seats are empty. If someone can take the seat,
I mean, I would sell mine cheap. I would get it for.
You can try to, but the thing is, you got to find a buyer, right? So, but because you got to go through the efforts in doing that, the seat might remain empty, right? You'll do your best. Like, I'm not saying I'd want to get my money back. I'd want someone to sit in the seat. Heck, I'd even give it to someone if I knew.
Yeah,
right?
It sounds like an asshole move, but I might have to do that.
Yeah, they got to change it, or else that's what's going to happen because people will start doing it. You'll see more empty seats in the Luge. Dortmund, so going back an example for Dortmund, Dortmund had the exact same issue several years ago. Exact same thing happened. And then Dortmund, which had one of the best atmospheres in Germany, within a similar situation happened like this, next season, the atmosphere sucked at Dortmund. So many empty seats throughout the entire season because of that exact same issue. Because you can't get a ticket unless you have this. And so then after a couple seasons of it, Dortmund started trying to get more innovative, figuring out, okay, this doesn't work because you kill the vibe. Either you got to jack up ticket prices, so that way they cost a shitload of money, so you're going to show up. Because I'll tell you this much: if you're paying like $1,000 a year, $3,000 a year for seasons, you show up to that game, or you find a way to flip those tickets. When you're paying $10 per game, you don't give a fuck if you lose $10.
Yeah,
like it's not going to make or break the bank, right? So
well,
either jack up the price.
I hope it doesn't get to that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I hope it doesn't get to that.
That was my 2-second rant I wanted to go on. That turned out to be like 15 fucking minutes.
I wanted you to get that off your chest. I didn't want you to take that to bed tonight. You know what I mean? I wanted you to get it.
I'm not trying to bash any fans. I'm not trying to bash Red Pass people. I'm just saying the clubs got to do something. If you sit on your hands, there are consequences to it. Anyways, back to positivity. Rumbo 37.
Let's do the Choris.
Choris, oh shit, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, Choris the match.
Yeah, let's do the Choris of the match.
God.
Go ahead, you start it off.
I'm going to start it off. So the Choris the match, you know what? I'm going to give it to, unfortunately, the MVP of Choris, Mr. Almeida. Mainly because I don't think he had a horrible game. I actually don't. It wasn't the best game from Almeida. Or let's say it's not the worst game I've seen from Almeida. I think it was because he let Fabio Coentrão get into his head. He was constantly having like pissing contests with him. You'd see him part of the time, like you'd stop playing for a second, you having a pissing contest with Fabio Coentrão while the game was still active. And also it wasn't his best game to begin with anyway. So I'm just giving it to that. You kind of let him get in his head. My player of the match, you know what? It was a toss-up between Rafa and Pizzi. I'm going to lean towards Pizzi. Reason being that Ashfield is a bit more complete. I think I'm giving it mainly because he took the yellow. And that's going to be my play of the match also. It was very dangerous. I think Real Ave had a real chance to basically tie up the game. They were really chomp on us. And for Pizzi to have the mindset to say, you know what, in the position I am in the field, he kind of saw Florentino was out of position. He saw Ruben Diaz was struggling to get back, and Ferro wasn't there. He had a clear opening. If he didn't stop that guy now, someone's taking a red card later on, and there's a chance this guy's gonna score, right? So he did the right thing. He took the yellow. He knew he was getting subbed out. It didn't impact the next game. So, you know, it's not getting a yellow card is typically not my play of the match, but I think it was today. How about yourself, buddy?
Oh, I'm having a fucking sneeze attack over here. My shitties in the match was mine was a toss-up between Florentino. Oh, man, I want to talk about that too while I'm going on a rant.
We forgot about that. Yeah, okay, anyways, a little sidetracked on that.
It was between Florentino and Almeida. And I'm gonna give it to Almeida because there was too many times where he was just outplayed, outran, outburned. It was too many times where I was just like, "Fuck, Almeida really can't defend at all." You know what I mean? He's not the fastest. He didn't have a great game. Florentino, oh man, he has to have it a rough go at it. I'm not gonna harp on the kid or anything like that. Who the fuck am I to do that? But he just hasn't been playing very well lately, man. He really hasn't. There are times in the game where there's opportunities where the ball comes to him and there's breakaways and Florentino stops the balls. He stops to play. He stops the transition from the midfield, you know, to our strikers, to the rest of the play. It's actually frustrating. I thought today that we would see Jetson in the first half with Samaris. I love Samaris and I love Florentino, but I don't love them together. It's just too defensive minded sometimes there in that midfield. There's no connection.
We need an attacking mid. It's as if we switch. We still are playing the 4-4-2, but it's almost like we're playing a 4 defenders, 2 strikers, 2 attacking wingers, but it's almost like you do a 4-2-2-4 formation because those 2 guys still hang back a lot. When you had Gabriel, it was more the traditional 4-4-2 of Benfica where you have the 4 guys in the mid, but one guy's leaning a bit more defensive, one guy's leaning more attack, and you got the wide guys, right? Where now you always have 2 guys back. And when they move forward, they don't move the same way as an attacking mid does.
No, and they're not creative.
Like I love Samaris. I love what he's doing. Don't get me wrong. I think Gabriel and Samaris is a perfect pairing. And I love Florentino. I think he's going to be a great future player. But maybe Florentino an attacking mid in the future as he develops more. And that's what we kind of, in my opinion, I think that's where Alex probably was going. Is kind of what we need, right? And I find, I think next season, that's why we get so excited. You keep showing Felix. He's going to be more experienced, He's going to be better next season than he was this year because the kids learned a lot. Florentino's learned a lot. Gabriel will be healthy. Samaris, I hope he gets a new contract. If we get a couple more fullbacks, just to kind of at least have some rotations, more options there. Ferro has learned a lot this season, same with Ruben Diaz. Rafa's still at a good age, same with Pizzi. We really look like we have a really strong squad heading into the season. But yeah, I did a pretty good job filling some air. Don't worry, buddy.
I gotta fix that. Something's up, man. So something's up. I'm gonna have to get that Ethernet cord down here somehow. But I wanted to give my man of the match to Fedu. I thought Fedu was actually the man of the match. There was a couple plays in that second half where he could have been on the defender a little bit. He gave up that goal. It was on him, but it wasn't really on him. It was the lack of concentration there by our defenders, really by Almeida, if I'm not mistaken. That came off that second goal. But Fedu had a pass. He passed the first goal came off him to Almeida, from Almeida into the box. Rafa got the goal. The second goal, if I'm not mistaken, he had a pass all the way to Grimaldo. He passed, from his position. Fedu is something else. I'm going to say he's our best defender. He really is. He's so great with the ball at his feet. He makes unbelievable passes sometimes. It's actually surprising, really. Sometimes I don't see it coming.
If we had a situation where you can only keep Ferro or Ruben Diaz and you can only pick one, 10 times out of 10. I was gonna say 10 times out of 10, I'd pick Ferro. Ferro to me just seems like just a smarter player. I think he sees more on the pitch. He kind of sees where plays are going more.
Yeah, and he's just he gets it. There's something about how Ruben Diaz and Fedu came up. Even Ruben Diaz, I'm not harping on him. He's solid too, but it's something about how good they are, like mentally. You know what I mean? It's something about how they are mentally that.
Well, they got that link from growing up in the youth system, and now they're getting the experience. And it's that's where I get again, I was just kind of, when you popped out for a second, the excitement I have for this team next season is even greater than right now, because these guys, the experience under their belt, they already have that connection. They know each other. Right. Their passes, their mistakes they made this year will be less mistakes next year, right? Because they learn.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I'm hyped. Yeah, Ferro, that's a good pick, man. Great pick.
Ferro was my player to match. To me, he's my player to match. My Churis was Churis. And my player of the match, I want to say was, I think it was the second goal, that pass to Grimaldo. Oh no, the third goal to Pizzi. It was a Pizzi.
Oh yeah, Pizzi, the one where he cut it back and Pizzi just pow.
Yeah.
It touched the post. I love the goal that touches the post and goes in.
Yeah, and the calm collectiveness of Pizzi just to get it in. Yes, it hit the pole, wasn't clean, netted, but fuck, it bounced in. You know what I mean? Had enough to go in and to make it 3, and we needed that because it could have been a different result today. It could have really been like last time. I think. Remember about Sportimonense where it said the score line wasn't indicative of the play on the field. Well, today the score line was for Rio Ave. You know what I mean? The 2-3 was a deserved. Yeah. Right, it was a deserved play. And the Florentino thing, we said we were going to touch on it, but it's easy for me not to talk about.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about this. Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's easy for me not to talk about bullshit like that. I'll save that for other things. I'll save that for other people to harp on. Was it a foul? Maybe, maybe not. I don't fucking know. Did they call it on the field, Mario? Did they call that a foul on the field?
They call that a foul on the field.
Then it wasn't a motherfucking foul. And it wasn't a foul today. You know what I mean? Fuck, man. You got this guy from Porto. What's that dude's name? This fucking guy. Instantly, how does he get these clips of us so fast? What the fuck?
Man, they sit there.
He's better than our own media, this motherfucker. He's got our shit right away, highlights. How does he get all our highlights right away?
Oh, they're always sitting there. They're all sitting there just waiting, recording, and they're just waiting for the first negative they can find. You know what I mean? That's all they want, and it is what it is. But I was gonna see if I could find it here, and I can't find it. Basically, the situation, it was pretty much a situation where the player cut in front of Florentino, and Florentino's behind him, and he puts his hand on him, right? You see it every single week. You see it every single game. You see it many times in a game. It's a contact sport. They put hands on each other. As long as you're not checking, pushing, but it's, you're running against each other. You put a hand on, very light hand. The guy felt it. As soon as he felt that hand, he started like tilted in front of him and just went down. And right there, that's when Farrell's like, "Get the fuck out of here." You know what I mean? Like he did a light shove. But at that point, he's already going down. And the ref, it was a continuous play. He saw it. He was right in front of it. If you watch the replay, the ref's right there, sees it, says nothing. He gets the ball, pass, leads to the goal. That's the first time there's a stoppage. As soon as there's a stoppage, he gets his headset. He goes, "Guys, this is what I saw. What do you guys think?" And they pretty much said, "Yeah, you know what? Yeah, no, I get it. We get why he didn't call it."
It was the second goal.
It was the second goal when we scored the second goal. Is that when it happened?
It was when we scored the second goal.
Yeah. So you know what? Let me go back there and I could see
the first goal came in the 3rd minute off. You know what I mean? It wasn't off of that play right away.
So it was off the second goal, eh? So no. Yeah, let's see if I can find it here. But I got a feeling I don't think it's going to show because I think
you know, I want to say PC makes the ugliest fucking faces on the pitch I've ever seen in my life. Like, oh my god. I mean, sometimes it just makes me laugh, the faces this guy makes on the pitch sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The camera always catches him doing some stupid shit.
Yeah, no, he does he's gotten caught making some pretty hilarious faces. The other one that actually is a potential controversy that some people were crying about was on the same second goal was Felix being offside. So really what ends up happening there, you have two schools of thought, right? You have the idea that, hey, he was offside the whole time, therefore it shouldn't count. But when he's offside, the player passes the ball to onside player, they make the run, João Felix stays put. And here, you know what? I'm going to put it on the screen. Let me do this. I'm going to share it. As long as I don't play like a good straight minute of highlights, we're fine. As soon as you play more than a minute of highlights, they throw a hissy fit on copyright. But I'm going to show this goal right here, and I'll kind of explain why this is not offside. So you see the play. He's offside right here. He's not the player that receives the ball. It's the other player. The other player scores. Right here, the ball has now gone in. He stopped. He didn't interfere the play. Goalie gets the ball. He's now back on side. See, the foots are lined up. And then he continues and he scores. That's why it's not an offside goal. You know, it's one thing when you have a player in an offside position and he interferes, but it's the fact that he laid off, the other player got the ball, the Rio Ave players came up putting João Felix onside. We shot the ball, goalie deflected, João Felix gets the ball and scores the goal. But at that point, when that deflection happens and that play is happening, João Felix has already been put back onside. Mm-hmm. He wasn't standing directly. He wasn't interfering with the goalkeeper. There was no like interference when you stand in front. You're an offside player blocking a goalkeeper or anything of sort. So it's a completely fair play. It's well done. And I saw some people online. You know, at this point now, they're realizing that they've lost. They're realizing that Benfica had an existential crisis in the middle of the season where players are basically playing like utter garbage. And Rui thought he got fired, and the club was in a crisis. And we were 7 points back. They're realizing that this club that was imploding is now about to score 100 goddamn goals for the 3rd time in its history, about to win number 37. They got no one else to blame but themselves, and they're looking for excuses.
I agree.
But we've
well said.
Picked up our shit. We earned where we belong.
Absolutely.
Right?
We're gonna earn. Yeah. Well, this is gonna be earned. This isn't. Yeah. This is. We'll talk about it. Let's talk about that next week.
Next game, man. I got my bangs red. You know, I'll get the frosted red tips to celebrate. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I might have to go get me a haircut too. Shit, I'm gonna try for this one.
We're a little very excited, but anxious, nervous, anxiety, all the emotions that goes through everyone in the chat. We got Smith, we got Peter Parker, Rodrigo, we got everyone jumping in on here. Kevin, nice guy, Kevin. You don't have to one rule, man. You don't have to support every single club out there. You support your club, but you should also be, you know, you can talk to other people, you can talk to other fans, you can be polite with other fans. You don't have to agree, but it's good to be open-minded, right? Don't put yourself in a bubble. So many other people on here, man. I know Dylan has a Game 7 Raptors party right now he's at because Raptors might advance because Raptors have always historically sucked, and it's always been like a tourist thing here in Canada, but they actually might do it this year because they're looking better and better. They got some people that know what they're doing. Luigi, a lot of people here, Airbus, Neo, RBX. You know, I think he subscribed, and I appreciate you listening. And he says, ignore my grammar. Trust me, I'm an immigrant. I spell like pure garbage and speak like a child at times. Who else on here? There's Sarah on here. Obviously, my lovely Cynthia. And there's a few other people. I think I missed it because eventually names drop off as the chat keeps going throughout the thing. So I know there's some other people early on. But big thank you.
For sure.
Huge thank you.
Appreciate it. It makes it fun.
We really do. We appreciate it. The channel just gets bigger and bigger because of all you people, and we love it. We appreciate everyone kind of coming on board. We're up to 295 subscribers, which is insane. So I know Airbus today is subscribed, so big shout out to you, buddy. Thank you so much. Benfica.
Benfica.